So I wanted to talk about how to create your own custom content for The Sims. The Sims 4 specifically. Today we're going to get into how to make recolors. So not quite creating your own custom content from scratch, but I will be making another video on that topic too. First of all, you need to start with Sims 4 Studio, which you can download from their website. It's free. You may need Blender if you are going to be creating your own meshes. So for now, since we're just doing recolors, let's get into Sims 4 Studio specifically. On the left side here, you can see the different assets that you can edit in the game. Once you decide what kind of custom content that you're actually going to create, or what kind of mods you want to create, because you can do script mods as well. There's a couple different options here, and the one that I'm going to do today is add create a sim part swatch. So once you select which option you want, you click the create a sim button and it takes you here. It just has all of the different content and swatches available, literally all of them. But what I'm gonna do is go to part type here, and you can filter them by like species, gender, age, part type, game pack, content, all of that. But what I'm gonna do is the necklace, because there is a certain scarf that I want from this. And that would be this one right here. It doesn't really matter which one of the swatches that you pick if you're doing a recolor, because you're just gonna add a new swatch anyway, and all of these swatches are for the same object, so they're all gonna be there anyway. It doesn't matter. Just pick one. But I picked one closest to what I was going for because why not? I don't know. So once you click on whichever one you want, you click next, and it is going to open your file browser. What you're gonna do is name this whatever you want to call your new object. So I'm gonna call it, Kafia scarf, and save it. And it will open up this, which is a little bit daunting. Hold on, I'm gonna move myself over here maybe, and a little bit smaller. So it will bring you here, and this is where you can see how your content is gonna appear on a sim in a game or in create a sim. And there's a couple different options here. So at the top here, you can see these are the swatches. This specific one is the thumbnail of the swatch that we are currently editing. But if we want to change the colors up a little bit, make the swatch a little bit more recognizable, we can do that too, so people know what they're actually selecting before they do. This part, the meshes category, is going to be useful for when you're creating your own custom content, but if you're just doing a recolor, you don't have to worry about that part. So the aspect that you want to focus on is the diffuse map under the texture box, and you can either export the base one that they have here, which would be useful, because if you can see, I'm just gonna export it. I didn't even spell it right. Whatever. If you can see, this is the actual image texture that is overlaid on the 3D model. But if you can see it, it is very small. And the reason for that is that this diffusion map covers the entire sim. So this specific part right here, this tiny little section, is this section of the sim, the necklace part. And I'll show you a bigger, okay, so I'll show you here for a single sim, specifically a female adult. Everything is laid out on this one image, and it's 1024 by 2048 pixels, and you can't change that. If you want to upload your own image to use, instead of, you know, exporting the one that they provide and then drawing over it or overlaying your own image, you can make your own as long as the dimensions are multiples of this number, which isn't too hard to do. This is already tagged as a necklace, so you don't even have to worry about all the categories and tuning and everything like that. The only thing you want to focus on when doing a recolor is your textures and probably your your thumbnails too. For just recolors like this, I would use whatever default space that they laid out for you, because otherwise you won't be able to layer different objects that use the same space, because they will just have that image overlaid on the object. And that's why you see a bunch of clipping in your Sims games when you use custom content. But I will say, with recolors, you have to be careful, because the UV map for this object has already been mapped to this spot. So if you want a higher quality image, let's say, and you need to put it in a bigger open space, say at the bottom here, well, you'll have to edit the 3D model in Blender to make that work. But after you do that, then you can just click import down here under texture and import your image, which I've already done. I have my own swatch right here that I've created, but this is for the purpose of teaching. You click save down here. Your package has been saved. And if you remember at the beginning when you were asked to name whatever your package was, you can find that file wherever you placed it originally. And that is your finished mod. And you're done. You import it to your mods folder and add it to your game. Hala is a mother of 6 from Gaza, and she has no funds left to care for her children. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you what's going on by now, but I'll link her campaign in the description. And see you guys in the next one.